Hi, boo, it's me. I'm back. Hi guys, I'm alive. Somehow. Nothing happened. It's just life. I don't know why I really quit. And I'm sorry if you guys wanted more, but here's more. And it was from the same fandom. This is a pic from Omori. It is my personal favorite. Well, actually, the sequel's my personal favorite. Potato potato. Anyways, I'm actually happy to be back. And I kind of just want to get into it. So welcome back. I don't know what I'm talking about anymore, so let's get into it. You're back, Mari, by Anonymous. Summary. Hiro's a good person. He's hardworking, kind, and perfect. But then he remembered her. He remembered the promise he had made to her. Hiro is a good person. And a good person doesn't break the promises. He would fulfill it, no matter the consequences. This is not a ship fic. Please do not think that or spread that. Cough. Anyways, Chapter 1. Coming home and a sleepover. Hiro knew he wouldn't have been able to keep it up. He knew he would break one day, and yet every time that thought surfaced, he pushed it to the back of his mind. He had to push that itch aside, or else everything that he had worked to keep bottled up would flow out uncontrollably, drowning himself and those around him. It was for the best. It had to be. But there was always something itched at the back of his mind and slowly chipped away at his rationality. Little by little, it was easy to smother at first. Hiro could overwhelm his mind with other things like schoolwork. It wasn't a bad coping skill because it benefited his future. His parents always encouraged his hard work, and so he continued. He didn't really mind that he had to give up cooking, because every time he tried to cook, he could practically hear that soft voice whispering in his ear. He was perfectly fine, so he would enjoy his summer at home. Hiro didn't expect to come home to a quiet house. Asking about his brother, his mother quickly relayed the necessary information, and before she could even finish, he ran. There was a strange feeling. No, it wasn't anxiety, it was something else. The feeling only grew as he stepped into the clearing in Faraway Park that was so familiar with him. Hiro ran past the cones and dried up roots, seeing pink and the bright orange his brother always wore. He heard shouting. Kel was shouting, and Hiro ran up to him. Kel pulled at him and pointed to the water, explaining that Basil was in the lake. Before Kel could even finish speaking, Hiro jumped in, eyes searching for the blonde. He noticed Basil and quickly grabbed him. Turning to see Sunny? Hiro lifted Basil out of the water, and Kel quickly hoisted him, ushering Hiro to get Sunny too. Hiro couldn't even process the information as he dived down once more, clothes weighing him down. He saw him. Sunny. How long had it been? Was that really Sunny? He looked so thin, small, almost malnourished. Hiro shook his head and grabbed onto that pale hand, lifting Sunny up further until he could safely wrap an arm around his chest. He pulled them both up out of the water, and Kel helped climb onto the deck. It ended up being easy since Sunny was slight, worryingly so. Kel had propped Basil up, feeling his head for a fever. Hiro looked down at Sunny, who gently rested on the grass. Hiro took a few deep breaths, his brain moving too quickly to comprehend what was going on. He turned to Kel and motioned to bring Basil closer, wanting to check if the blonde was okay. Before Hiro could ask what happened or even gather his thoughts, he heard a sharp intake of breath. Hiro turned to Sunny, whose eyes trembled before slowly opening. Sunny stared blankly forward, and Hiro's breath caught in his throat. He smiled naturally, hiding the itching in the back of his mind. Sunny sat up, blinking slowly. He looked around for a bit, focusing on Basil, for small changes to his expression, showing his worry. Hiro turned back to Basil and pulled him from Kel, checking him over. It seems like Basil's breathing is steady, but we need to get him somewhere, quickly. Yeah, he's had a rough day. Let's get him somewhere. Let's get him home as soon as possible. Moving to help Sunny off the ground, Hero picked up Basil and belated thanks to his college roommate for making him go to a weightlifting as bond exercise. Wait, Hero froze, as did Kel and Sunny. Where do you all think you're going? Aubrey stared with a scowl, tears threatening to fall from her eyes, though it seemed to be from frustration and not sadness. Surprisingly, Kel snapped back. That's enough! Don't you think you've caused enough trouble? Come on, guys, we gotta go! Aubrey grit her teeth at Kel's words, but there wasn't the time to unpack all that. Hero rushed Basil back to his house, occasionally glancing back behind himself. The itch was still there, and that was strange in itself. He had buried all of that a while ago, but he looked at Sunny. The itch was different. He wasn't sure why, but he felt a strange permission that would soon become clear. After reaching Basil's house and talking to Polly and setting Basil in his bed, Hero quickly comforted the two, silently following close by him, saying that Basil would be fine. After leaving Basil to rest and going to the hallway, he was finally able to ask about what happened. Kel explained that Aubrey had pushed Basil into the lake. Hero furrowed his brows, expressing that it must have been some sort of misunderstanding, but Kel was firm. Hero looked to Sunny for confirmation, but Sunny was looking at the ground, out of it. Aubrey. Hero rubbed the back of his neck. What happened while I was gone? Maybe I should have never left. Kel was quick to veto that train of thought, and Hero reluctantly pushed his own opinions aside for now. When they left Basil's house, Kel leaned towards Sunny. You know, Sunny, you were pretty awesome back there, jumping into the lake to save Basil like that? Hero's eyes widened. He didn't really think of why Sunny was in the lake too. Wasn't he afraid of drowning? Even if Hero ended up saving the day, I think you deserve some recognition too. How about a high five? Kel excitedly lifted his hand, looking down at the other boy. Sunny looked at the hand. An expression of grief disappeared as soon as it formed, and Sunny lifted his hand and received the high five. Hero pushed the itch away. After heading back home, glancing at Sunny periodically, Hero was greeted by his frantic mother. Hero placated her about the cold dinner. The three went and grabbed some food, bringing it to the kitchen to warm up. Phew, now that everything is calm, we can finally relax a bit. Hero smiled. The microwave hummed. Hero turned to Sunny, though directly looking at him made the itching worse. He endured it. It's good to see you again, Sunny. It really has been way too long. Sunny looked away from the microwave, blinking slowly. Hero pursed his lips, finding the expression in the demeanor to be very similar to a cat. Oh, and it's good to see you too, Kel. Hero nodded towards his brother. Silence settled again, and Hero felt suffocated by it. So, Sunny, I heard from your mom that you're moving away pretty soon? That sounds exciting. Hero said the words earnestly, yet the moment they left his mouth, a bitter, premeditated. Sunny's expression changed briefly, again, but it was quickly brought into a neutral state. Hero's eyes narrowed in the slightest, picking up on it more clearly this time. That definitely wasn't a look of excitement. Yeah, he is. Tomorrow's going to be his last day with us. Kel, always the optimist, just seemed excited that Sunny was back in his vicinity. Hero had overheard his mom mentioning that Sunny had appeared yesterday too. But besides that, it seems like Sunny hasn't left the house since. Moving might seem kind of nerve-wracking now, but it really isn't so bad for you once you get used to it. Hero spoke, keeping his gaze on Sunny, waiting for any indication of what he was feeling. I think it'll be good for you, Sunny. A barely perceivable flinch, a tiny twist of the lips. Hero stopped a frown from forming after noticing it. You learn a lot moving to a new place, and it's nice to have a fresh start. It was much more noticeable this time. Sunny's expression was definitely not right, no matter how much he tried to hide it. Hero's smile wavered. I'm a little sad to see you go, but it'll be okay as long as we keep in touch. The itch strengthened. Kel started to talk about the old times, and Hiro added in to the memories as well, though talking about the treehouse, suppress it. Look, the food's done. Let's eat in the living room. We can continue chatting there. Hiro clapped his hands together. After moving to the living room, Kel mentioned Sunny had Basil's photo album, tacking on that Aubrey had stolen it and probably kept some of the photos. Sunny pulled out the album and, almost like he had done it hundreds of times, laid it out on the ground between the three of them. It was pleasant to see all the photos again. Everyone was so cute and happy, but... Hey, Hiro, what's up? Are you okay? Hiro stared down, slightly tense. The itch was strong. Something was trying to push to the front of his mind. Hiro grimaced. Yeah, it's just that. Well, Hiro trailed off. His heart was beating too fast. He glanced to the side and saw Sunny staring right back at him. It caught Hiro off guard, and he quickly schooled his expression. Oh yeah, Mori isn't in any of these photos. Kel frowned. Hiro took a deep breath, pushing it back. What was he pushing back? At this point, he couldn't even tell. There was too much. He had to ignore it. Hiro sighed. Still, this album really brings back some good memories. Things were a lot simpler when we were kids. Hiro trailed off, glancing over the photos at the page. Sunny was holding up a violin in one of the photos, expression so similar to Sunny. I have a favor to ask. Hiro kept a smile. Do you think you could let us see your house one more time before you leave? Kel agreed, saying it was a good idea. The issue was convincing their mom. She obviously wasn't happy about it, and even when Hiro was able to get her to reluctantly agree, it was bitter. So, Hiro proposed getting her some flowers. They went to fix it, passing by the nostalgic hobbies and Geno's. After reaching the register, Hiro noticed that Sunny was pulling money out from his own pocket. Oops, before I forget, Sunny, here's some money for my mom's flowers. Hiro smiled at Sunny's blank expression. You didn't think I'd let you pay for it, did ya? Hiro handed over a $10 bill, not really thinking much of it. Sunny gently took it from him, staring down at it. He looked back up at Hiro with an expression that seemed to say, wow. Hiro wanted to laugh. After paying, they went back to their house, and Hiro was able to patch it up with his mom. It was good that she was understanding, but the consistent mentioning of Sunny's move irked him. It was fine. Hiro ignored it. It was dark outside, and Kel marveled at how long it had been since they'd been over at Sunny's house. Hiro glanced up at the sold sign. He shook his head and agreed with whatever Kel had been saying, opening the door and letting the other two in first. The house was really empty and dark. Was the electricity out? Kel, again, started recalling the past, and Hiro joined in. Kel mentioned being unable to see the treehouse, and Hiro quickly glossed over it. The itch was pushed back. Kel then had the idea of sleeping over. Hiro liked the idea, and Kel quelled in the worry about his mom being upset. After the arrangement was made and everyone started heading towards Sunny's room, Hiro glanced to the side. I wonder if the piano is still here. I'll go on ahead and see. As if something was compelling him, he went into the room. After stepping in, he immediately froze. Hiro's hands shook by his side, and his eyes were glued forward. I'm fine, Hiro mumbled, forcing himself over the piano bench and sitting down. He opened the piano and looked down at the keys, hands hovering over them. Keys were clean. It was weird. Why was he here? It's stimulating. He heard footsteps and looked behind him. Sunny and Kel had walked in. Hiro smiled. Don't judge me too hard. I haven't practiced in a while. And, like he was possessed, he played. He knew he was playing the piano, yet it hurt. The back of his mind was hurting. It wasn't just an itch this time, more like scratching. Show off. Kel's words snapped him out of it. I guess I still got it. Hiro hurriedly left the piano, approaching Sunny. Hey, Sunny, that reminds me. Do you still play the violin? Hiro looked around for a bit, not paying attention to Sunny's expression. Oh, it's not here. I guess you already packed it up. Hiro opened his mouth to say something else, to reminiscent about something important, but it wouldn't come out. Hiro pulled back, glancing at the yawning Kel. Kel urged everyone to sleep, and Hiro agreed. After coming up with the idea of sleeping in Sunny's room, Kel rushed off for blankets, and Hiro hurriedly followed. Before Sunny came up, they had somehow managed to put together a bed for it. Hiro almost laughed. Hey Sunny, we built a bed for it. I hope you don't mind. Sunny just stared in response, which Kel took as acceptance. This was all Kel's idea. I had nothing to do with it. Hiro added. When Sunny approached, tilting his head, Hiro pursed his lips at Sunny's slow blinking. Seriously, he's like a cat. Ooh, by the way, Hiro, Sunny and I got you a gift. Hiro turned to Kel in surprise and received the book. It's the Papa Chips Chip Off the Old Block cookbook. Do you remember this? Cal smiled brightly, pleased with his gift choice. Of course I do, Hiro subconsciously replied. Man, I remember when I wanted to be a cook. It seems so silly now. Hiro allowed himself to recall the joy of cooking for others when something else tried to crawl from the back of his mind. It itched. Hey, you were pretty good at it, and you can still be a cook, Hiro, Cal said with so much sureness, even looking at Sunny briefly with that bright, confident look. Hiro noted Sunny's reaction. His expression was, well, he looked sad. Hiro tense. It's okay. I don't have time for that anymore. Hiro held the book in his hands, not knowing whether he wanted to throw it away or hold it close. But you really like to cook, don't you? And people have to eat, right? So, why not? Kel was so absurdly earnest about it that Hiro couldn't even be annoyed at the naivete of the sentence. I don't think that's how it works, Kel. And he was interrupted by snoring. Wow. Hiro just kind of stared there for a second, amazed and dumbfounded by his brother's ability to pass out like that. He's such a fast sleeper. Always has been that way, I guess. Hiro chuckled, turning to Sunny, who was sitting on the floor. Thanks for letting us sleep over, Sunny. Hiro thought maybe Sunny nodded, but that might have been the trick of the light or his own imagination. Hiro shifted in place, putting the book aside, and he turned to Sunny. I bet it's been pretty hard, this empty house. Especially Hiro, although he wanted to look away, wanted to make sure he was receptive to Sunny's not vocal replies. It's not as though Sunny was mute. No, he was just the quiet type. But this was different. Sunny hasn't been making any noise at all. Hiro frowned. The itch strengthened. I'm sorry I couldn't be there for you more. Hiro tried to smile, but couldn't hold it when looking at Sunny. Sunny's eyes briefly narrowed, and his eyebrows creased, lip quivering. Hiro wanted to hug him. Everything feels so different now. Hiro tried to smile again. But it seems like you've pretty much stayed the same. Hiro hoped his voice was steady. Sunny hunched into himself, just enough to be noticeable. It's kind of relieving, to be honest. Hiro finally managed to smile, but it trembled. It's really nice to see you again. Hiro reached forward slowly, before pulling his hand back. It hurt. It hurt. It really hurt. The back of his mind was scratching at his consciousness, an image forming in his mind. Too familiar, too painful. Anyways, Hiro took a shaky breath. Sorry for ranting. It's getting late. I'll probably head to sleep soon, too. Good night, Sunny. I'll talk to you in the morning. Hiro saw it. For a brief second, it was the clearest expression Sunny had made all day. So clear, in fact, when Sunny left to go to his own bed, Hiro almost reached out to pull him back, but he didn't. He suppressed it. He suppressed the urge, convincing himself that it wasn't real, that it wasn't what he saw. But the itch, that painful, scratching itch, gnawed at him. He closed his eyes, laying down next to Kel, but it lingered. Afraid. Sunny had looked afraid. Hiro woke up early in the morning, before the sun had even risen. He felt drained, like he had had a nightmare. Shaking his head, Hiro got up and headed to the bathroom. After finishing his business and washing his hands, he heard a soft tune. He froze. Hiro opened the bathroom door only a bit before looking down the stairs. Without thinking, he rushed down, heading straight for the piano room. He stepped inside, only to see Sunny standing completely still, a bit away from the piano. No, standing wasn't quite right. His hands were shaking. Sunny whipped around to face Hero, eyes wide and tightly shut mouth visible in the darkness. Sorry for bursting in like that. I could have sworn I heard some music. Hero smiled, watching Sunny carefully. There was a stretch of silence, but Hero couldn't bring himself to move or think. The scratching at the back of his mind kept intensifying. You must miss. Hero stopped. No. Stop. Suppress it. Hero held his breath. Suppress it. It's fine. It's fine. Nothing was wrong. Everything was okay. It's been hard for me too. Hero couldn't stop the words from coming out of his mouth. I just don't understand why. Hero stepped forward, seeing Sunny waver, but we all should still be happy. Hero kept himself in place. He wasn't even saying coherent sentences. Sunny was shaking. Hero didn't know what to do. He didn't know what to say. He just wanted to. You should get some rest. Go upstairs. I'll come join you in a bit. Hero waited for Sunny to leave. Sunny needed to leave. Everything was wrong. It wasn't working. Suppressing wasn't working right now. Sunny, still shaking, scurried out of the room. Hero stayed put for a few seconds, waiting until he knew Sunny left. Hero stumbled towards the bench, sitting on it and holding himself up. He stared down at the piano keys, tears welling in his eyes. Thoughts were rushing past his own comprehension. The tears in his eyes dropped without permission. Hero looked down at his own shaking hand and bit his lip. It hurt. It hurt so much. The back of his mind was burning and it felt horrible. He wanted to let go. But what then? What was he even letting go of? He didn't even understand himself anymore, much less his emotions. And why was Sunny so pitiful? No, not that. Sunny did really look he, like he, Omori. Hero held a hand over his mouth but couldn't stop the name from coming out once it was said. The last time he ever saw her, her sickeningly pale skin, her peaceful expression was surrounded by flowers. Hero gripped his hair. He can't. Not now. Not after 4 years of succeeding and moving on. It was all coming back without permission. Something was looming over his mind, as it had been all these years. It was more apparent now, especially once he saw Sunny. Sunny. 4 years without leaving the house. It made sense why he looked that way, but it's just too similar. And those expressions. Hero's eyes wavered. Those were expressions of someone who was happy. Not that it was expected for everyone to be happy all the time, no. But this was different. What would have happened if Kel hadn't kept knocking on Sunny's door? What would have happened if Sunny didn't open it? Sunny looked depressed. Sunny looked tired. Hopeless. Sunny didn't even want to move from what Hero had gathered. So why did Sunny only come out now? Was it his way of saying goodbye to his old life? Or was he saying goodbye in a way that was... Hero went rigid. Would it happen again? Hero stumbled out of the piano seat, the piano looking horrific in the moment. The idea formed coherently in his mind. He couldn't erase it, couldn't suppress this. No, this can't be happening. Kel wasn't somebody who would notice things like this, but Basil was. Basil was preoccupied with Aubrey as well, and she seemed to have her own thing going on. If he hadn't come back, if he had actually decided to stay behind at college for a bit longer like he had originally planned, then... Hero rushed out of the room and up the stairs, letting out a deep exhale when he saw Sunny safely tucked into his bed. Hero ran a hand through his hair, scratching at his scalp, hopefully to suppress the burning feeling in his mind. He needed to do something. He needed to distract himself. He needed to stop thinking. He needed the sharp pains in his mind to disappear. There's... The book he had put aside caught his gaze. Breakfast. Yes, everyone needs breakfast soon. He should clean up the house too while he's at it. Yes, everything was fine. Ignore it. Suppress it. And that is the end of that chapter. I did this in 3 parts, and the first 2 parts were at 3 a.m., so the beginning is kind of off. My bad. My mouth is all from talking, but I like talking. So yeah. thank you guys so much for listening again. Sorry if you were expecting something else, but I kind of enjoy doing this chapter. I mean, it is one of my favorite fics, and I definitely want to do the whole thing, hopefully, throughout my time that I have in my free time. So, anyways, I really enjoyed this, and I'm sorry for leaving y'all for so long. And I don't really have anything else to say, but if you're interested, I do really recommend staying tuned for the rest of it because it gets pretty wild even if it hasn't gotten there yet. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for listening, and peace.